tell me to shut up or I'll
You'll what?
come on over, we'll go outside.
Oh, why don't you go outside, put some shoes on?
Oh, God,
and
on
don't point
film?
at me
Don't
and
do
don't
this
raise your
on
voice at
film.
me, okay?
Frank, I answered you today. Did you read my email when I answered you, or did you not read it?
Today,
Yes.
I didn't get it. You didn't send no email,
You sent
okay?
me you sent the, not me, you sent the association an email with pictures. And I said,
Look at yourselves.
Today,
The board members, look at yourselves. You've
Okay,
created a
that's
barrier
enough.
between yourselves
Alright.
and the unit owners.
Adjourn.
It's very sad.
okay.
Look, the one's losing his temper.
I'm not
I
losing my
mean,
temper, but I'll
why
sit
are you
there.
members trying to do something to help us? We own apartments here. We want to live nicely. He walks out like a silly man that he is, and you two
Yeah, we
members
can't
have
take
said
this.
nothing for us.
I mean, I thought they were being good, I guess it must have been.
And there's no respect here, it's just one insult after
Okay.
the other. And I am talking, Tony, so shut the fuck up.
Oh, good. Are there any questions
I'm gonna say this.
You created a hostility in this complex
Sir.
that is beyond belief.
Sir,
Half the
Wait.
people
the
don't know
animosity
what
is
you're
going to be
doing.
like this.
What you've done is
Continue
you've
talking
created
way
a
too
monster,
much.
and you
You don't
love
know
it.
me.
It's
I'm a
sick.
nice person. I
It's
want to
sick.
help you.
You need a
But you want to be
therapist.
arrogant, and that's not right. Let's calm down and let's
Fred.
come in here with our
But you're
business
supposed
caps
to be
on.
taking care of
I'm an
us,
owner.
not
Should you get up?
treating us like garbage.
Well, don't-
And that's what happens at
Don't
every
attack
meeting.
us. You're attacking us. Let's not do that.
But you're
Let's
supposed
not
to treat
attack.
us in a
Let's
proper
talk
way.
sensibly, okay?
Look, you're new.
I'm new here, I'm gonna learn. I'm not gonna have all the answers right now, but let's talk sensibly to each other, please.
But listen to how he speaks to us.
I can't, I'm not his keeper.
You're sitting here
Just-
and this man who's an employee speaks to us like we're garbage.
I'll tell you, take a go with Basil and look.
But what does this have to do with the agenda? It has nothing.
We have to stay on the agenda, and I guess that's something, what, for Middle River?
No, they're talking about Basil and
Send
cleaning.
an email,
Right.
talk about, so send.
I answered him
Everybody
today.
Send an email
Keith,
with your concerns, so we can all see
Keith.
it, because I have no idea what
They
you're
blocked
talking
me
about.
out.
I blocked him out. Keith, I replied to his email today. He says he didn't get it. You don't believe me? I'll show you.
All right, let me ask you a question. Okay, so
This
we're
is the
here.
childishness.
Okay, one at a time, Bill, one at a Bill, time. We can't hear. Excuse me for a moment, okay? So tonight's meeting, whatever this, what is this for? Just information about the hurricane, information about the elevator? Okay, so basically, in a business meeting, you're just relaying information to us like you would maybe in an email?
Correct.
Okay,
It's a new board term,
I should
and there
know
are
that.
certain things they have to do. So we've done them.
okay, and that's all you're gonna be discussing?
What's on the
I'm
agenda?
out.
Okay. Thank you for coming,
I
folks.
do have a question, it is on the agenda.
Oh,
Can I ask it?
Please,
You talked about the hurricane insurance, and it's a $6,000 deductible
on average.
on average. And what I wondered is, so that means that's the insurance for the building. What does that cover, actually? And it's not for what's in our units, it's for
It's the
building
hazard
itself.
that
So
would,
could you explain that maybe?
it's the hazard insurance
Right.
for the building, meaning the walls, the roof, the whole structure.
Right.
Your homeowner's policy is an HO6 policy, and that covers your kitchen cabinets, your flooring, your fans, that kind of stuff. So that would be a separate deductible for you.
My
if-
personal home.
Personal, if you have insurance.
Right.
Some people do not.
And one last question,
Yep.
forgive me.
No,
but-
it's not, there's no, forget, you don't have to ask for
Well, I
that.
just want to ask because, okay, these certain items are not on the agenda.
Oh,
Might there be an opportunity at some point to ask questions, just in general, ask a question that may not be on the agenda, but is something that somebody wants to ask to get some information?
sure.
And when
The
would
same
that-
way you've done it in the past, you send an email to the office. If it's something the board needs to look at, I will forward it to them. If it's something I can answer, I will answer it.
But you don't.
But there are meetings, in my knowledge of 33 years living in there, that you do have, when you meet a quorum, whatever, that you are entitled, okay, to ask questions, okay, pertaining to, or someone answering it, money, this and that, whatever. I mean, mostly, yes, send an agenda of what it's for, but you are entitled to, at that time, to ask the questions, because
Absolutely. What's
Some
on the
people-
agenda?
just moving in, they're not aware of certain things, so on and so forth. I don't know what to tell you people, but I've been here almost 6 years. I've been to 3 meetings. This is awful, awful that you guys are doing this. You guys have to really work it out, because it's like, I hate fighting, I hate yelling. I've lived there 33 years, police will call, fighting, it's crazy, it's not worth your health. And you guys really have to find some common ground, because it's just awful. That's why nobody wants to come, you
That's
know,
why they
and that's
don't
why, that's a shame, you know? We have a really, it's not the Taj Mahal, but you know what? We got roofs over our head, and we're pretty good, and we're east and everything, and people should really try to come together, so I hope one day they
I
will.
think most of us agree
All
with
we're
you,
asking
Jeff.
for is information that's not being provided. That's all we're asking
I want
for.
everybody to know that I want to do what I can that's good for everybody. I know everybody's not gonna like all decisions, but I want to make sure that, number one, our investment is sound. And
Yeah.
we continue to make money if we choose to sell someday. Our investment goes up.
Bravo.
It is business and business only. The integrity of every building in here, because if one suffers, we all suffer. So in all the grounds, and I know that's Middle River, but everything we do, I want to do and try to make things better, continue to grow. You know, when I first moved here, the grounds were beautiful, things have changed a little bit, not a lot, but we do have a beautiful complex here. We're lucky we have this huge dock area to enjoy, a nice pool, which we're gonna work on getting fixed, I hope soon. I have a lot to learn about all this, but I am not against any of you, and I will not speak down to any of you, and I want you to speak up to me, and I will speak up to you. And let's just keep it business.
In that regard, Keith, I have a concern about the whole complex. Is the number of, and I don't know who they are or how many, of what I think of as B&B. The turnover, there are some people who are using this as a hotel and as a money pit. And it really does not serve any of us to have that. So I really make a plea to everybody. If you know who is really not permanent, I'm not talking about snowbirds now. I'm talking about the turnover on a regular basis. You see different people all the time, you see different cars all the time. Please report it to the paid manager, because it's in violation of the bylaws. So it's really running down our property. You know, if you took a look at the elevator, for instance, in Devon, they keep painting it, and it keeps getting torn up and chipped because people are coming and going with suitcases and stuff. So it's a real issue here, and we need to protect our property. So please report it to the paid manager.
There is a lot of B&B coming here. I met some people at the pool
Yeah.
who got it at the tail end on one of their cruises from their travel agent, dropped them here for a day and a half, so they didn't have to get off the boat and onto a plane right away. They had no idea where they were, they had no idea anybody was here, they had no idea what city they were in, they just know they got off the boat in Fort Lauderdale, and they were here for a day and a half out by the pool. Couldn't believe where they were landing.
Wow.
4 strangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And they were in
possible,
Avon building.
it's
So
possible
it's
to do
happening.
it.
I have people in Bristol building that have cars. Thank you for bringing this up, Marilyn. There's a different car in that parking spot every single weekend. And it's right near my unit, every single weekend.
What area, what building is
I'm in
this?
Bristol. And
Okay.
Bristol also had a squatter before, a couple of years ago.
Which
that nobody
space, which
noticed on
space
the first
is that?
floor.
You know which
I'll
space?
tell you later. I'll tell you later. I won't do that publicly here. but I'm glad we brought that up. There is the enormous amount of people out in the front entrance with their flyaway luggage that are total strangers that know no one here. There's no one walking them out there. They're coming and going, and at spring break right now, I'm seeing that because I have a corner unit. So I can see what's going on at the gate. There's an enormous amount of unknown traffic coming in and out of here on a daily or weekend type basis.
It's true.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Look at the trash.
I know this is probably not on the agenda, but can I ask the board a question, which is, what are the rules regarding that? How much are you allowed, I mean, if you're allowed to rent your apartment, of course you are, but for what period of time? Is there a,
Minimum 3 months.
did that change? Because I thought it was a minimum a year at one time. Did that-
No.
It's always been 3
No,
months?
the problem, I'll tell you, Robert, I think you asked this question once before, if I recall, about renters. You were very concerned about them.
I asked about renters, but not
Yes,
about this.
and then I think I brought up to you something, again, going back many years, because everything is always many years of it. And what happened a good 25 years ago, we went to amend the condo docs. The attorney drew up 11 amendments, and I think 3 or 4 of them, as I recall, had to do with limiting rental restrictions. And as a result, because there was no email at that point, you had to knock on everybody's door, we couldn't get them passed, so therefore the restrictions did not go in, and the condo docs are not very restrictive with rentals. And the board does not have authority, according to the lawyer, not according to Tony, that we cannot basically, I'm using these words, screw with somebody's money. So the minimum is 3 months.
What about Airbnb?
No, Airbnb is not permitted. So since the subject has come up, there is an easy remedy to that. If you suspect, and I'm not aware of this, but again, I'm not going in everybody's unit every day. If you suspect this, there's a very easy way to handle this. Call the city, your name gets recorded, and say you believe this unit is being Airbnb because the city loves to get their money on this.
I'm aware of that as well.
Yes.
You could call up, or if you go on to City of Fort Lauderdale Vacation Rental Program, and you can look up a specific address, or you can send a concern, because I've had it in my own neighborhood. I think it's rampant in Fort Lauderdale. So yes, you can do that.
And they will come and investigate it.
Why do we have documents that have standards? Why do we have that?
The documents say nothing about anything, except for.
Well, they say 3 months, isn't it? I know for a fact, I have a neighbor who's just a snowbird, he's there.
You missed it.
I know that Tony has contacted him when he has had guests. So clearly, you have the capacity to be involved. That seems to be one of your responsibilities.
Yes, and you know what his excuse is? It's my sister, it's my brother.
And it was his sister and his brother.
Well, then he's not renting it then.
No, but you have the capacity to follow up, is what I'm saying.
Well, he told me what they were. Well, follow up what?
But you could do that if people referred things to you and said, listen, this apartment is changing hands every weekend. You could speak to the owner. You're the one who can speak to the owner. You're the
Sure,
manager.
that's one I've spoken to. And he comes up, which apartment is it?
I understand, but we don't have to call the city. You have a responsibility to serve us in that way, to
Oh,
follow up.
okay.
Well,
do when it's
I'm gonna
recorded.
look in
You
the
do-
county's
what am I gonna
defense,
do?
You can't do
Yes,
anything.
the city is the one who can enforce that.
Of course.
You notify
The
the
city can
landlord.
enforce that. I mean, he
Yeah.
can't be going all over to every
Your Honor.
unit.
It has to come from the city.
Yes, the city would be the proper route for that.
license for
I don't know why we even have bylaws.
You know what? I've asked that question too, because you know what? We're in the middle of a situation where it's very clearly stated in the actual, not bylaws, but in the actual condo docs. You know what? The lawyer, the condo docs are like the supreme of all.
I have a copy.
Yeah, you know what? The lawyer says, well, that's what the lawyer, and these are good lawyers. So, but I said, it says right in the condo docs. You know what the lawyer says? Don't push it, right? Am I misstating that? And those were my words, don't push it.
Yeah,
Am
the laws are
I
different
saying
now.
it?
I'm learning.
Right? Okay, so that's on.
Strange.
So if you find that you find people coming and going and it's Airbnb, You could certainly let the office know, but you also file a complaint. What I find is, being in that position, I'll tell you, people complain about other people, but it's not necessarily true. They presume certain things. So we need hardcore evidence to say, this one, the car is changing every week. Did they have I know somebody who changed the car because he had a car accident. He was getting different cars. Is it Airbnb, or is it because he had a car accident? He had to keep getting different rental cars. You know, we got to be careful with these kind of statements.
I want to add one thing. Being vigilant is great. I hope everybody's vigilant about things going on around here. We have to be. We have to protect our property. We have to protect the great thing we have. The other thing is that I've spoken with police, and they said, first of all, if there's any kind of encounter, whether whoever is on the property, whether they're supposed to be here or not, do not confront them. You never know what's going to happen, and call the police. And I said, you know, what about, I did ask about people coming and going that we don't know, that may be Airbnb, and they said, call the city and report it.
Could you share then, somebody share the information of who and where to call?
Maybe we could get a memo.
Actually, I sent that information out not all that long ago.
Trust me, you didn't.
No, trust me, I did.
Well, we could-
You know what? I'm going to go find it.
If you find it, I'll give you $100.
Well, why argue?
Oh!
Why not just ask?
Oh! That may keep me up all night.
Sure I am.
I'll go find it. I'll get,
Yeah, I'll find it for
we'll
you.
go to dinner.
It didn't exist.
We'll go to dinner.
I'll give it to you after, I'll write it down.
Yeah, would you please?
Sure.
But heck,
But I think we
it'd
should
probably
share
just
it
be
with the
J-Marks,
entire
because $100 isn't gonna.
I sent it out in an email,
We should share it with the, it should go out.
even
in
with
an
the
email
city's
blast.
number.
They're easy
Do
to
you hear
send
me?
out.
Apparently
Apparently,
it's
not all of us.
Okay, is there anything else related to the agenda of the board meeting? This is,
I
should not
just
have
have
had,
a simple question. Is there going to be a Middle River Club meeting, or?
there has to be, because I don't know. Any other questions relating to the,
Who's the president of Middle River?
I just want to give a heads up to anybody that lives in Bristol. My next door neighbor, I believe that the airline has rented that because they're the same, you know, they're the same pilots, the same whatever, that go there all the time.
That's the other B&B I'm talking about. in Bristol. That's the other-
wait a minute, your neighbor, who?
You know, it's
Who?
me or him.
Yeah, well, whichever neighbor, tell me who the neighbor is.
Oh, mine, I
Yeah.
live in 306,
Yeah.
308. No, 304, 304.
304, okay.
So, I believe, you know, I met them.
First time I'm hearing. So explain further. It's the same one or it's different ones?
Same one.
Same one.
Same couple of people, but it's the same guy that comes and goes all the time.
Okay.
And he has his luggage and he has this, so I don't want.
Is he a pilot or something?
Call it he's a pilot or he's a
Steward?
flight attendant, you know,
Okay.
something
Is
like
that
that.
Kurt's old place?
Yes.
So I don't
So
want
he
people
re-rented
to
it?
assume
He
that
re-rented
because
it.
he has a flight suit and he has his luggage and stuff, you know. the
So
guy
it's his
that
job.
to me is legit, so I don't want people jumping.
Right. So this is why we just can't go by supposition on these things.
I have a suggestion.
They re-rent them.
Could there be an email to all the owners from the board, asking them to be aware, to talk about this issue, and to use the information that this board member wants to give me as to who to contact if this is an issue?
I will go look back in the emails. I'm sure the things I've sent out, I am absolutely sure with the phone
But if you
number.
can't find it,
No.
would that be possible?
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Get the $100.
Yeah.
Well, you know where I'm going to donate it to, don't you?
I say void.
In her name.
You haven't got a chance.
In her
Void
name,
your
don't you
email.
know where I'm going to donate it to? Yes.
To the
Anyway,
Republican Party. Oh,
better.
how lucky
better.
we are. Wait a minute, this is for you.
Oh,
All right, I'm ready.
Oh, let's get a picture of that. May I get a picture of that?
Absolutely.
Yes, with you in the picture.
I hope so.
With you in the picture. I think that's precious. Yes, smile.
This is it. This is a smile.
Oh, God, that's great.
Our neighbor of the month.
I can't wait.
Neighbor of the
You have